Last season, I began experimenting with different camping shelter options. In the past, I had always been a tent camper. Now I'm giving hammocks a try. In this video, I list the pros and cons of hammock vs tent camping to help you decide which shelter option is best for your style of camping. I'll also outline the hammock gear you'll need, the types of hammocks available, and how to properly hang a hammock. Hammocks are more comfortable than tents. Hammocks create a supportive and lump-free surface to sleep on. They cradle the body and offer support for the back and neck in a way that the ground can't. You don't have to deal with any rocks or roots under your body. You fall asleep faster and sleep deeper in a hammock. Hammocks help you get a higher quality night of sleep. You'll wake up feeling more rested and full of energy. This was proven by an interesting study by Swiss neuroscientists at the University of Geneva. Hammocks are legal in more places. Many jurisdictions have laws against pitching tents in the city. These laws prevent homeless people from camping in city parks. Most cities don't have any laws against hanging a hammock. With a hammock, you can set up in a park or at the beach and take a nap. Hammocks sleep cooler. Being out in the open allows you to enjoy a cool breeze. For this reason, hammocks are ideal for camping in tropical climates and during the summer. Condensation isn't a problem in a hammock. Hammocks allow more airflow so condensation doesn't build up like it does in a tent. Moisture evaporates away, even when humidity is high. No more waking up in a soggy sleeping bag or having condensation drip down on you while hammock camping. You need properly spaced trees, rocks, or some kind of stationary objects that hang your hammock from. Hammocks just don't work everywhere. For example, if you are camping in an alpine area above the tree line, in the desert, in a new forest where the trees are too small, or in a sparsely treed forest, finding a campsite can be nearly impossible. You have to sleep alone in a hammock to get the best night's sleep. You'll want to sleep in your hammock by yourself. Two-person hammocks are available, but they are pretty snug. You would only want to use one with someone you're very close to. Even for a couple, sleeping together in a hammock just isn't that comfortable. Hammocks are not stand-alone shelters. To be prepared for all conditions, you'll need a tarp and stakes, an underquilt or sleep mat, and a bug net. After you add these additional items to your pack, a hammock sleep system weighs and costs as much as a comparable tent. Hammocks sleep colder. If you plan to camp in weather below about 6 degrees, about 15 degrees C, you'll need some kind of insulation under your body to keep you warm at night. Your sleeping bag won't keep the underside of your body warm because the insulation is compressed by your body weight. Hammocks offer less privacy. You're always outside in the open in a hammock. There is nowhere to change clothes, organize gear, clean your body, or just get away from people temporarily. In the backwoods, this doesn't really matter because no one is around anyway. You can bring your gear inside with you to keep it safe and dry. It's nice to be able to sleep with your fragile electronics and valuables right next to you to protect them from the rain and theft. Even one-person tents have plenty of extra space for your backpack. Tents allow you to camp in more environments. No trees are required to pitch a tent. Freestanding models don't even require stakes. You can pitch your tent above the tree line, in the middle of a parking lot, or in a sandy desert. Now freestanding tents do require stakes to pitch. Tents offer a private space to do stuff in a tent. You have space to change your clothes, organize gear, clean yourself, fix something, etc. This is great for rainy days or when you're camping in a busy campground. You have a dry room where you can hang out and be alone. Tents are less comfortable than hammocks. Something about sleeping on the ground is just inherently uncomfortable. If you set up your tent on top of a root or rock or on a slight slope, you won't get a good night of sleep. Tents are fragile. Poles can bend or break. You can't compress a tent as much because you can damage the zippers. Holes can wear in the floor if you don't use a ground sheet. Quality of sleep is lower in tents. In a tent, you are sleeping on the ground. Tents also lack the cocoon-like support and rocking motion that make hammocks so relaxing and comfortable. Condensation is worse in tents. You will experience condensation in all tents. There is no avoiding it. How bad it gets depends on the temperature, humidity, tent design, the terrain, and your proximity to a body of water, and more. Visibility is poor in tents. Some of my most memorable nights were spent staring up at the stars. In a tent, you're stuck in a low room where you can't really see out. You can sleep without the rainfly, but your vision is still obstructed by the bug netting. If you hear a bump in the night, you can't just sit up and look around. You have to get out of your tent to see what's going on. These days, everyone is trying to reduce their base weight and go ultralight. An average hammock only weighs about 16 ounces, around 450 grams. An ultralight tent weighs around 32 ounces, 900 grams. That's twice the weight. The problem is that a hammock alone provides much less protection than a tent. To stay dry in a hammock, you'll need a large tarp, guidelines, and stakes. To stay warm, you'll need an underquilt or foam sleeping pad. You'll need bug netting to keep the mosquitoes away. When you add in all of this extra gear, the weights are about the same for tents and hammocks. An ultralight setup comes in at 2-3 pounds. When comparing the price of hammocks and tents, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. A hammock itself costs less than a tent. When you consider the cost of the additional gear that you'll need to go with your hammock, the price turns out to be about the same. Hammock camping isn't quite as simple as hanging a hammock between two trees and calling it a night. There are a few additional pieces of gear you'll need to stay warm and dry. In addition to a hammock camping system includes tree straps for securing the hammock to the trees or other mounting points without causing damage. Your tree straps should be 1-2 inches wide so they don't cut into the tree's bark and cause damage. Rope to secure the hammock to the straps. Tarp to keep the rain off if you're camping in wet weather. 3-meter tarps work well. Stakes to secure your tarp to the ground. Guidelines to hold your tarp and bug net away from the hammock. Bug netting to keep the mosquitoes, ticks, and flies away while you sleep. Some hammocks include a built-in bug net, sleeping bag or quilt to provide insulation to keep you warm. We are going to end this video right away. If you have any query or information to share, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.